Okay, guys, so we are going to be talking about another grammar lesson here. We're going to be focusing on semicolons. And I know you know semicolons. If you don't know what a semicolon looks like, it's this guy right here. It's that comma with a period on top. That's what we're talking about. And there are three main ways you can use a semicolon. And you've seen a couple of them. So let's talk about this first way. You use a semicolon to join two independent clauses, essentially creating a compound sentence. Like normally you could use a comma and a fanboy, right? But a semicolon does the same job of a comma fanboy. So here's an example. Students with jobs lose focus on their schoolwork, semicolon. Their grades begin to slip and their futures dim. Ooh, that's a really negative sentence, but okay, here we go. So again, we have two independent clauses. We have a subject verb situation happening here, and we have a second subject verb happening there. And we have that semicolon to connect it. That is a compound sentence. That semicolon acts to connect two sentences. Okay. Now, another way we've used semicolons, you have also seen, right? So, this is when you use a semicolon plus a transition word, those words like however, therefore, consequently, those words, plus a comma. So, semicolon plus transition word plus comma. We've seen that before. Again, you're joining two sentences to make a compound sentence. So, here we go. Back with our negative sentence. Students with jobs lose focus on their schoolwork, semicolon, hence, comma. Their grades begin to slip and their futures dim. So again, still with the semicolon, but we've added a little bit spark with this transition word and that comma, okay? So that is the second way you can use a semicolon. Now, the third way is one we have not seen yet. This is when you have a list. You have a list that already has commas, but if we put too many commas, it gets confusing. So you separate items in a list. So let me show you an example. My cousin has lived in Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Notice you have city, state, city, state, city, state. And we know that when you have a city and a state, you have to separate with a comma. But to chunk it, we separate each city, state with a semicolon. So it kind of is less confusing. So I know, oh, this goes together and this goes together. Okay, so let's look at another example of that. Bobby hired Joe, comma, the carpenter, Larry, the mason, and Steve, the electrician. So now I know, oh, this goes together. Joe is the carpenter. Larry is chunked, right, with the mason. And Steve is obviously the electrician. So you can kind of clearly see the chunks. And one more example, this is a little different. On this plan, comma, I can eat whole grain breads, pastas, and tortilla chips, semicolon, citrus fruits, green vegetables, and some roughage, semicolon, and lean meats such as turkey and fish. So here I chunked the grains. I chunked the fruits and vegetables. And lastly, I chunked the meat. I guess that sounds weird, but so this is kind of where we're going. I hope this makes sense. And obviously, we will be practicing in class with our warm ups. Thanks so much.